no power. You take the power away from your own stroke. So to learn how to throw the stick down and catch it up back here is essential, because you cannot, you know, when you place, you can play single stroke roll, which is very difficult to do. You know, you can play it like this. It's twice the work, because you have to go down and up. If you let the stick come down, you divide the energy into 50%. It's always up. And that's because I catch the stick here. So if you want to learn this technique, do this. You hold the stick in the right place. That's also something that many drummers don't pay attention to. There's one point in every stick, which is called the fulcrum. This is like, you know, when you drill a hole is where the stick is balancing. Now, there's only one point in the stick. Yes.
Op die garage am Anfang habe ich auch schon gedacht.
No, schiamate.
I will just tell you which track. I don't know now which one first. Very good. Hello. How you doing? Oh, so many people. Before I start, I would like to thank everybody for the nice reception that I had over the past two days. It's my first time in this part of the world, and it was great. I felt very warmly welcome and feel already at home after 2 hours. And especially I want to thank Thalys for making it possible and inviting me here, and Peter Basler and everybody that it's so nice. Before I start, I want to a little bit explain what I'm going to do now. This is a jazz festival, and music is the jazz music is the music that inspired me and motivated me through most of my career to move on. And like people like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, and also in Miles Davis, and also in pop music like the Beatles or James Brown or Led Zeppelin, and all those people that created great music. They have one thing in common: they were explorers and they were pioneers. They had the courage to create something new. So this always was a big influence to me, that desire to explore and experiment with new things. And for a couple of years now, for maybe 10 or 15 years, I've been checking out what DJs do, and the DJ drum machines and samplers and hip hop and all those types of electronic music. And especially a couple of years ago, I heard this style called jungle and drum and bass. Is there anyone of you guys that listen to DJ music, techno music? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so this is music that has no drums. It's all electronically made. But at some point, I saw 2,000 people dancing to the rhythm of drum and bass, which to me is more common to what Tony Williams does and Jack DeJohnette than what we think dance music is. It's not simple music, it's very complex. And as a drummer, I realized that I could not afford to ignore it. So I started to get into it. So I call this reverse engineering electronic music, and I'm trying to play machine music on the drums, but use the knowledge that I have from the people that came before me. So I have a band called Nerve in New York City, and because they are not here, I will play with some tapes, which is the next best thing. But anyway, before I talk more, I will play one tune, like kind of like a drum and bass thing, okay? To set up myself first. We have technology to make everything faster and easier. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, what was this? Where does this rhythm come from, really? JOJO comes from basically is a breakbeat culture. Has anyone ever heard of the name breakbeat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Everybody heard of breakdance, right? Breakdance, you call breakdance not because you can break your neck, but because you dance with the breaks. And what that means is like when DJs started to make music for rappers, they took two records of the same of the same record. Like, let's say the most famous one, old school hip hop beat, is The Funky Drummer from James Brown. It's Clyde Stubblefield, and that beat, the band plays, and then the band makes a break, and the drummer plays alone. And those 8 bars, they loop. They have 2 records. They play that records, and it goes out. Give the drummer a song. And when it's finished, they play the second record. So when they look for the one with the record, they go walk, 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 walk. And that's how scratching was invented. So it goes back and forth. So it's a small piece of recorded drums. Now when we play those type of things, everything which is in that beat, maybe a little noise or a little guitar glitch, it becomes a part of the drum beat, which makes it very interesting. So I saw many drummers that tried to play, let's say the Funky Drummer. Okay, so since I started with that, and the Funky Drummer, everybody heard that beat because it was very popular in the 80s, and it's basically, I see many drummers play the Funky Drummer they go, but it never really sounds like the Funky Drummer. So I started to pay very close attention to the texture of that beat. So I listened to the hi-hat. How does the hi-hat sound? It's not like... We have many different sounds from our acoustic drum set. And when I started to reverse engineer electronic music, I became aware of how carefully you can play on the drum set to get all those different timbres and textures out. So, for instance, many drummers don't pay attention to this, unfortunately. So I really had to treat the drums as a musical instrument and not just as a statistical toy. So, for instance, we have the hi-hat on the Funky Drummer. It's a 60 notes. Okay, with the tip in here. Then we had the snare. And we had the bass drum. But still doesn't really sound like that. I miss a little bit details that make the groove good. And one thing is like James Brown, he sings. I try to put it into the hi-hat like this. So not only this, but also, if I want to get go a step further, those records were made with one microphone. Not like every drum head didn't have a microphone, but it was no close miking, so the bass drum did not sound that loud. So like everybody of you that knows Sex Machine, try to hear the bass drum. You can almost not hear it. It's like mainly like the bass. So to balance the instruments really creates a different feel. Can you feel the difference between this? And this. It's a big difference. Big difference, not so big difference, but it is a big difference. So when DJs started to like deal with those things, they don't. Like a drummer when he at the end of a drum fill, usually automatically he plays a crash cymbal. So it's like. But DJs don't do that. They just stop. They just turn the volume down. So to play a little bit like this, we can take a funk groove and turn it into hip hop by paying attention to the idiosyncrasies of that style. So. Let's see, like another beat, like OPP, was like this. Okay, that's like the basic loop. So when I do the stops, I start to bring the hip hop in, like. So those little stops, a little idiosyncrasy really make a feel. And for me to get into electronic music, I had to start to pay attention to those things. And it was like a key when I started to program drums that I felt, oh wow, this is very hip. Maybe I can play this with like my drum set. So it's the same thing. Any style that you play, there's so many musical styles. As a drummer, for instance, if I want to play Brazilian music, I have to learn to play the pandeiro, which is it's like tambourine. If you know how to play this, you will do the right thing on the drums. If you want to play Afro-Cuban music, you have to learn to play the congas. When you want to play jazz, you have to learn how to play the right cymbal. When you want to play rock and funk, you have to learn about the backbeat. If you want to play electronic music, you have to learn about drum machines like samplers. And I see a lot of people are afraid of this, but it's not, the computer is not the center of the universe, but it's a part of it. So as a musician, I try to use those things, and I think many musicians are afraid of electronic music, maybe also because it is simple or not sophisticated, but it's a big mistake. And after, I want to show you something with a more simple context than like the drum and bass, but to take from like the hip hop groove and like the breakbeat, that the jungle was created out of a breakbeat, and the original breakbeat was called the Allman Brother beat, and the Allman Brother is a gospel song. Maybe everybody knows it. It goes da 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 da. Now you know why I play the drums and I'm not a singer, okay? So this song, a band made like a boogaloo version. And in that boogaloo version there's a break, and the break beats sounded like this. So that was used by Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, everybody used this. But some Jamaican guys in West London, they took it and they speeded up with the records. So it became faster and the sound was also smaller, like a Mickey Mouse. So this happened. Okay, so we're halfway there. We're halfway there. Now, all those rhythmical variations, if you know how a sampler works, maybe, you know, some of you have been working with the sampler, which is basically a digital recording device. When you play with the sampler, you know that if you play the start button, you can play the beat from the beginning, play the beat from the beginning, play the beat from the beginning, play the beat from the beginning. Okay? So you do the same thing with like the Amen Brother, and it will be like this. When like the CD's player gets stuck, right? Okay. So, but not only we can play from like the beginning, but we can cut it out. It's like a sentence. It's like different words, so we can rearrange the different words. And every drum beat has different words. It's like a drum beat is like a sentence, and it has different words. So, for instance, we have one word, or. So all those things I start to rearrange. And I start to turn them upside down. So that's see how many sounds we have in a drum set. Okay, so as I said before, let's take the rhythmical density down and let's play another style of electronic music, which we all know, which is house, which is 4 on the floor, and it's very simple. So I will play the same concept with paying attention to like the textures, with something a little bit more simple, a little more dance-oriented, because I love to dance, and jazz is dance music, or it was dance music for the first 20 years or 30 years when it was existing. So, okay, yeah, everybody dance. I need a track number 4. Yeah.
Thank you.